What's up everyone, it's day 11 in the Big Brother 27 house and the brand new Head of Households nominations have been revealed. Plus we take a look at everything that's happened in the past 24 hours in that crazy house. We've got so much to talk about, so welcome to your live feed update. Right, before we get started, if you are new around here, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. I'm here every single day, all summer long, delivering you all the live feed updates in a small 15-20 minute package. I know not everybody has a long time in the day, or sometimes any time in the day, to sit down and watch those live feeds. And when it comes to Big Brother, when you dip out for even 5 minutes, it can feel like you're completely lost. So that's exactly what I'm here for, basically just to give you guys the down low on everything that's happened every single day in the house. So if you don't want to miss that, hit the subscribe button. And also, I'll ask everybody kindly if you could click the like button. It takes all of 0.5 seconds to do so. It really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm and pushes my videos out there as a smaller content creator. It just helps so much. So 2 things there: subscribe, like, and let's get to the update. Question of the day now, folks, and it's a good one. I'm going to come back to this video at the end of the season just to take a look at who actually got it right. So now is the time to prove yourself as a BB mastermind. Who do you think is going to win the game? There's 16 people to pick from. You've got all the names on the graphic right there. So hit it up in the comment section who you think is going to be the winner of Big Brother 27. I'm going to come back at the end and see how many people got it right or wrong. So let me know your guesses in the comment section below. Let's get to the update. Now, in case you didn't know or didn't see yesterday's live feed update, the brand new Head of Household of the Week is Jimmy, and he has had to make his nominations for the week. Leading up to it, I made the prediction that Keanu, Kelly and Riley would go on the block. I said that Adrian's name was sprinkled in there as well as a potential, and I can officially reveal that the brand new nominations of this week are Keanu, Kelly and Adrian. So I was wrong there. However, it's already been discussed that if one of them comes down off of the block, then Riley is most likely to go up as the replacement. But we've got to remember that this week there is so much at play in regards to the powers that have been unleashed on the game. I'm going to give a quick TLDR on those powers that are now in the game, because in the HOH competition it seems like the house guest had the opportunity to basically opt in for powers, and I'm sure we'll get the clarity of that when the next episode comes out on Sunday. But like I said, TLDR, Kelly won a power where she has the option to play in a solo veto competition, it sounds like, where she can win veto should she lose the veto or the main veto competition. Keanu won a power. This is 2 of the nominees who have powers right now. Keanu has a power that makes him twice as likely to win the veto, it sounds like. Again, we're going to get more clarity on Sunday, but I assume if it's a stacking competition or if it's a time competition, he'll probably already have a head start on the stacks, or maybe that his time will get slashed in half, giving him a huge advantage in the veto competition. But that could mean that if Keanu wins that one with his advantage, Kelly would then go on to win hers, or if she does with her solo veto competition, that's 2 people off the block with Adrian still sat on there. Then Riley gets put on, and then Jimmy's going to have to think of another person, tallying his total of nominees for the week to 5. That's a third of the house almost. That's a third of the house being nominated by one person. It's happened before. People have nominated that many people before, but holy guacamole. Grab your chips and salsa, guys, because these powers could absolutely blow up Jimmy's plans this week. Now, with Adrian on the block, of course, I think that came out of left field for a lot of people, but we're going to talk about that a little bit more. Kelly and Keanu came as absolutely no surprise to me. And to clarify, Keanu is Jimmy's target this week, and he intends to see Keanu walk right out of that door next Thursday night. Next, we're going to talk about some nomination ceremony fallout, and judging by people's reactions and comments, it indicated that Jimmy was very messy at his nomination ceremony. It sounds like he delivered the nominations with a very catty, maybe sassy, dramatic attitude, and that rubbed people up, I think, up a little bit of the wrong way. And I've got a little bit to say about this, because Jimmy, he did a thing at the veto ceremony calling out Keanu. Fair enough, let him do his thing. Keanu was wrecking havoc all week socially, and you know, I think people were just all over the place with Keanu's constant bombardment of game talk, and also not only that, but not having his finger on the pulse at all, and thinking that very Devon from BB16, he thought he knew everything, but the reality was he didn't really know much. And Jimmy tried to call him out. Great TV, whatever. And then the nomination ceremony, now he's HOH. He, of course, had to put these people on the block and went for that similar approach again. And I've got to say, this is terrible on a social level. It's absolutely terrible. Jimmy might be good TV and might be good drama and, might bring the views in. But the reality of his game is that if it gets to the end, somebody's going to want to vote the person who wasn't so rude in delivering the news the entire time. Because if Jimmy does get to the end, he's going to end up nominating more people. He's going to end up voting more people out. He's going to end up calling more people out at the HOH, veto, whatever ceremony you want to call it. And as a result, or even if he's on the block and he's delivering an eviction speech, that's going to rub people up the wrong way. People are going to vote for the person who didn't do that over the person who was rude to them the entire time. Yes, I find Jimmy funny. I find him entertaining. He's got so many one-liners that I just soak up and love. He's entertaining. That's what he is. But a good player, that's another question. I really think it's going to be telling this week on how he plays this out and how can he do it with conviction. That's the question that I'm going to ask myself, because I'm already seeing a little bit of the HOH-itis slip into Jimmy. And I predicted that when he became HOH. I said, oh boy, we're going to be in for a week. It's going to be great live feed updates, but in terms of his game, it's going right down the Big Brother toilet. Amidst all the chaos, it's very easy to forget that Big Brother veteran Rachel Riley is indeed in this house. And of course, she is having to take strategy into her own hands to get to the end, because it's not easy to do it when you've got a handful of newbies plus one big veteran. And it's not just one big veteran, it's Rachel Riley. She's a winner. Not only one of the winners, she's always discussed probably in terms of the biggest personalities of Big Brother history. She is always in that conversation without fail. Whether you love her or hate her, you can acknowledge that. Rachel started cementing that seed that so many people do, whether it's on Survivor or Big Brother, where they go, if I get to the end, no jury's going to vote me to win. And she's talking and everyone's going, yeah, you're so right. And they were really licking it up. It was like a dog. It was like dogs going at their meal. The owner has just put it down and they were going, yeah, that was great. Thanks, Rachel. That's the mist that Rachel has on some of these people, and it's kind of scary because I feel like it's rookie 101. Don't let the returnee make it further in the game. On a personal level, I'm a fan of Rachel, so I like seeing it happen, but on a game level, on a commentator perspective, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, you dum-dums, wake up. Wake up. This woman has won Big Brother before. Not only that, she cemented herself in the game as a legend. In what world does Rachel Riley get to the end and not win the game? She has this wrapped up if she gets to the end. It's like Sandra on Survivor, right? She won Pearl Islands. She got to the end on Heroes vs. Villains and the jury awarded her the win again. And she's played multiple times since then. And the common consensus has always been with Sandra, whether she will compete on The Traitors or Big Brother or whatever it will be. If Sandra gets to the end, she deserves to win. If Boston Rob gets to the end, he deserves to win. Just like Dr. Will or whoever for that matter. If Rachel Riley slots right into that category, if you are somebody with that big of a name and that big of a reputation in the social game world of all these reality TV shows, if you get to the end, you deserve to win. These people are licking it up and going, yeah, good point, Rachel. Wake up, or you will find your ass out of that door. Jimmy was in conversation with Rachel at one point and he threw some total shade at Amy. It's only week 2, can I remind you all? It's week 2 and Jimmy's already made the conclusion that if Amy gets to the end, she's not going to win. And he threw some shade and he said to Rachel, taking Amy to the top 2 is an easy win. He just straight up said that. With his chest, in fact. He said it straight up. If you take Amy to the top 2, it's an easy win. He's already assuming, like so many weeks to go that Amy can't get it together. And then this is where it gets even worse. Rachel turns around and goes, well, you never know. She might be able to win some competitions. And Jimmy goes, yeah. And Victoria could have won BB16. I'm so sorry. That sent me. I couldn't believe when I heard that. I found it quite funny because that's an age-old meme, that isn't it? Victoria being able to win 16. I think he's prematurely jumping the gun here by saying that. And while it is making me laugh my ass off, I think that he needs to have a little bit of introspect and realise that, what about if he gets to the end? You think people are going to award the guy who's been trash talking people the entire time? It's possible if he brings another trash talker to the end. Looking at you, Rachel Riley. That's a scenario where I would see fireworks, but I don't know. I feel like he's being premature with that. And while Amy hasn't done a lot yet, and she is showing the signs of somebody who probably isn't going to do a lot and probably will just follow Rachel the entire time, he's onto something in that aspect, but also expect the unexpected? Or am I just reaching in the dark right now? Maybe we should go back to the Victoria comment. I want to know what all y'all think. Point is, it was an interesting enough moment that I needed to bring it up in this live feed update, because that was some unprovoked shade from Jimmy right there. After the nomination ceremony, Adrian did have a little bit of a breakdown later in the day. He was really, really struggling. He was crying and had a moment to himself where he was just kind of saying, he was talking about his family and saying, I'm going to win this for you, Mom. I'm going to win this for you. And it was very, very sweet. It's, you know, on a human level, I'm just like, I just want to reach out and give him a big old hug, because at the end of the day, it is a game. And I don't want to see anyone crying or getting upset over anything. And that's just, it's tough to watch. But also on a game level, I'm like, this is the guy who waltzed right into the diary room on eviction night, and Julie Chen Moonves, don't forget the Moonves, said to Adrian, who would you like to evict? And he goes, I know I'm not going to be in the majority here, but I vote to evict Amy. He knew fully well that he could have jumped ship there and gone to the Zay ship, and he didn't, and now he's landed himself on the block. I think people are starting to see through Adrian, but my hopes overall, this is my primary hope from this, is that it lights a fire under his belly. I hope it comes a time where he goes, okay, I've had my cry, I'm on the block, it's time to lock in. I'm not letting my ass go home when Kelly and Keanu, who, you know, they're basically the San Andreas fault lines right next to me, and Adrian is San Andreas in the middle. That's going to go under if those fault lines start to wobble. He needs to lock in and realise, okay, this isn't a playground game, and I think he actually needs to bring a little bit of the heat that he was bringing in his preseason interviews, because the Adrian that we saw in the preseason interviews was very bombastic, and he had a huge, gigantic ego and bravado, saying that he's going to be the best player ever. He was smug and arrogant, and he is not that in the house. He is not that at all. He's sweet. He's down to earth. He's lovely. He doesn't know how to use a washing machine. He's got flaws, right? You know, like he's a sweet guy, and I really hope that maybe this will help him find, you know, the middle ground where he can boost the ego up a little bit, get some more confidence, get the train chugging, and actually get on his way to Safetyville, where he can actually start to make manoeuvres in this game that cement him as a player rather than just somebody who's there in the background and then goes onto the block on week 2. So pull it together, Adrian. You got this. I want to see you. I want to see fireworks from you. Let this be the moment where you go, I'm not letting me be the person who goes on the block every single week. I am going to play Big Brother. You got this, Adrian. In today's episode of Kelly's Bizarre Behaviour, we take a look at Kelly as she decides she wants to put condom wrappers on to people's beds. Yeah, that's an update, folks. We're not even 2 weeks in. We're not even 2 weeks in. Kyle lasted longer than this. Jeez, I mean, condom wrappers? Condom? Sorry, I do that in my American accent. I could say condom, but no, condom. Kelly wants to put those condom wrappers on the bed. See, this update is making me so like, what the hell? I'm whipping out my American accent, which I know a lot of y'all love and a lot of y'all can't stand. But I don't know what else to say about this. I don't know what else to say. But it's a continued behaviour with Kelly just doing weird, random things that just leaves so much to be imagined. That was the latest. She was talking to Vince about how there's condoms that have been delivered, and she's like, did you see the condoms have arrived? And I'm like, I've never seen someone like act so giddy, be like, the condoms have arrived. All right, calm down. And then for it to be like, I want to put them on people's beds. I want to get the wrappers and put them on people's beds. You do you, Kelly. You do you. But you're gonna leave me speechless, and it takes something to leave me speechless, because I've usually got something to say about this game, but that's a strategy we've never seen. Make it rain with the condom wrappers. That is all of your live feed updates for today, folks. I thoroughly hope you all enjoyed watching. It's getting to be a messy week once again. It's a repeat of week 1, but dare I say messier, because Jimmy's the head of household, and the fact that the nominees, Kelly and Keanu, they're going to spiral. But then the powers are in play as well. It's a lasagna week of Big Brother, and each layer that you peel back, there's some hot cheese and some hot meat and some hot sauce. Basically, it's a good week to be alive. It's a good I want lasagna now. Why did I set myself up there? I really want some lasagna now. Not the time, Tom. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'm going to run through the super thanks real quick. If you don't know and you're new around here, this is the part of the show where I go through the questions and messages that people have sent me by sending in super thanks. So if you want a question answered by me in next video, send in a super thanks with your question and I'll be sure to get to it in the next video. But first of all, today we've got the wonderful Karen Foraker, who says, thanks, have a great day. Thank you so much, Karen. I hope you have an amazing day too, you wonderful, amazing lady. I appreciate you so much for always supporting the channel. You are awesome, and I'm just sending you a big virtual hug. Thank you, Karen. Next up, we've got an incredibly generous super thanks from the amazing 63 Angel. The username there really lines up with the energy of you there. Definitely an angel. Thank you so much, Angel. I appreciate you. Angel says, thank you for keeping us up to date on what's going on. I watch live feeds each day, but I only watch them for a couple hours at night. I hope you and Sam have an awesome day. That's so very sweet. Thank you so much, Angel. Me and Sam, I'm sure we'll have a fantastic day, and we're sending the love right back to you, hoping that you have an amazing day. Your kindness has just warmed my heart today, and it's very sweet, so thank you ever so much, Angel. Last but certainly not least, we've got the great David Cushmore, who says, hi Tom, if someone evicts Amy down the road, that person will get deeper into the game and don't think that Rachel cannot live without her. She will lose one of her teammates, and that will take Rachel down a notch and a better chance to take her out of the game. Will needs to watch his back. For Vince, he should turn on his own team and be a villain and see what happens with Vince. Zach needs to start win some games if you want to stay longer in the game. Have a woman to win HOH, someone like Mickey. I would love that. I would love Mickey to win HOH. Don't need the men dominate the house. Jimmy has to pick the right house guest for eviction, because if not, he'll be a target. And it's true. It's true, but I think Jimmy's going to be a target anyway, if I'm being real with you. He is very messy, and he doesn't really care how he talks to other people, so that's going to come and bite him in the ass, without a doubt. Ashley won her first veto competition, but not going to be enough to win. She needs to win more. The thing with Ashley is she needs to cement herself socially more. She has done very well manoeuvring Showergate, because that was almost like, I think a lot of us saw that and we're like, oh, she's going to be the first boot. But no, she's still here and she's not on the block. So she's doing something right. That's for sure. Keanu, use your power before you get yourself evicted. That is so true. Ava needs to win some games. Don't be a weak link in the game. Do something about it for your own game. Morgan should try and go against Rachel and see what happens. I think she will eventually, but she's biding her time. Don't forget to get some Starbucks coffee and some M&Ms. Thank you so much, David. I appreciate you ever so much. Always great insight that you have into the game, and I love to comment on the points that you make. And I appreciate you ever so much. But yeah, I do think Morgan is a gamer. I like her a lot. She reminds me of Vanessa from Big Brother 17, somebody who is gung-ho and isn't here to make friends. She is there to game. She might not have seen Big Brother in the past, but she knows that she's been asked to play in a game, and she's doing exactly that. She is gaming, and you can say that is a lot more than a lot of the house guests in previous years, and as the weeks are going on, we're starting to see the people who aren't really there to play, and Morgan is cementing herself as a player, and I can't wait to see what she does, and I think it could be Target and Rachel at some point. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. I hope you enjoyed this live feed update. If you did, hit the subscribe button, because I'm here every single day, like I said, delivering you all the key information that you need to know to stay up to date with BB27. But in the meantime, I hope that you're all staying safe, staying happy, and staying healthy out there, and remember to be kind to one another. But in the meantime, please don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, do all of that wonderful stuff. But until your next live feed update, I've been your host, Tom Vasey. Good night.